We made it to 2025. I think that's worth cussing about. Be advised. Hey y'all, I'm Jenn. I'm from Oakland and I'm an androgynous black lesbian feminist and a lover of all black people.
This is Daren. I'm an asexual novelist, researcher, and bona fide comic book fanatic from the widest part of Southern California.
Orange County. We're queer millennials with 3 kids and nearly 20 years of marriage.
This is a podcast about the realities of blackness, adulting, and relationships.
This is That Black Couple. Hello.
Hello.
Holy shit balls. It's episode 10. We made it.
Weird.
Dear God. So this is a bit untraditional for us because we are doing a year in review and we're doing it in 2025, but it's for 2024.
Yeah, I just like to think of it as now it's all encompassing. And
also now we've lived through 6 years of January. And so we understand so much more about 2024 that we didn't 4 weeks ago.
Very true.
Yes. This has been the longest and most horrible January in the history of Januaries. The orange demon is back in the White House. Look at all those colors and descriptors. The orange demon is back in the White House.
Kaleidoscope of colors.
And in the past few weeks and days, he has worked to single-handedly dismantle America.
Yeah.
Not American democracy, America.
Yeah. I mean, he's failing so far. But, you know, this is only, like 2 weeks in.
You think he's failing? I think he's doing pretty good.
No, he's failed so far. He's failed to actually do the dismantling.
Okay.
He's tried.
I don't think he's failed. I think he's on his way.
Yeah, it was like this was the first draft. You know, this was like pie in the sky.
Because he failed at business by going bankrupt. That's failure.
Right.
But this is not failure. He's working at it.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, he's got 4 years. So
he was installed on MLK Day, which was just a slap in the face to every ancestor ever. Mm-hmm. This is the upside down. And so we are here on That Black Couple speaking to you, our year in review, the things that we will be doing differently in 2025 and going forward because the world needs something different. We are in a different place and we are here to be different. This is Jenn.
This is Daren.
Before we get started, make sure you follow us on Threads and Instagram at That BLK Couple, on Facebook at That Black Couple, and look us up on the internets at www.thatblackcouple.com.
And you already know you can stream our episodes everywhere podcasts are streamed. That includes Apple Podcasts. It includes Spotify. It includes SoundCloud, all of those different platforms. And if you would like to be a subscriber that supports all of the work that we do here, you can follow us over on our Substack.
That's exciting.
Super exciting.
Okay, let's get into it, y'all. On the first segment, we're going to talk about what we accomplished in 2024.
Which was a lot.
And everything's actually not going to be here. There were a lot of personal accomplishments, right? I published my first book, Black Women Taught Us. It came out on January 23rd, 2024. I went on a book tour that I think, I can barely remember it now. It was a blur.
I can barely remember it.
It was a lot. I went all over the country and I met so many of you. I launched a Substack for my 40th birthday, which has been incredible. It's called Love Notes. And I have, at this point, nearly 4,000 subscribers.
Which is good. You're spreading love.
Yeah. I also wrote my second book, Policing Blackness. That should be out very, very shortly. And our baby, our 17-year-old Pookie Pie Bear, our sunshine, our incredible, amazing, beautiful son, applied to colleges.
He did.
And we just found out this week that he got into his first college.
He did. And it is a life-changing moment when you have a kid that then grows up and applies to colleges and starts getting into them.
And says things to you like, I'm a man. That's
and I do what I want.
I do what I want because I'm almost grown. I just am like, then get a job and get out of my house.
It's a different perspective on this side.
So tell us about the podcast, Dan. What did the podcast accomplish last year?
I mean, we did a lot. We've recorded 2 seasons.
Yeah. And we delivered the episodes like on time.
They were like really close to on time almost every time.
Consistent content.
Consistent content. We kind of upped our game when it came to promoting and having collateral and stuff so you could see and know what's happening with the podcast and what the content of the episodes are.
Yeah.
We also were featured in the Huffington Post.
We were featured in the Huffington Post. Huffington Post, they picked it up on BuzzFeed.
It was,
hey.
It was a moment.
It was a moment.
It was a moment.
It was a moment. They came to our house and took pictures of us and everything.
And then, the other thing that I really don't want to downplay is, we've been working on a book.
We have.
And we finished a draft of that book.
We sure the hell did.
And as you have said about me numerous times on this podcast.
Don't do ASMR.
I can do ASMR.
Oh, I thought you were saying that's what I said to you many times.
No. I mean, you have said that multiple times. Yes. But I was going to say that you have a habit of noting that I'm very good at having drafts.
Yes.
Of writing.
Yes.
That don't get to the completed stage.
Yeah.
Or it takes like many, many, many years to get to the completed stage.
Or over a decade.
And I want to say this book that we are still currently working on, it took
a while.
It took some years to get this completed draft done, but we have now completed that draft and are now speeding forward full speed. We're about to finish the second draft of that book.
We are.
Probably within the next week or so.
We are.
Things are moving.
People will be able to buy a YA sci-fi book from Daren and Jenn Jackson.
And listen, y'all, you are not ready. You are not ready for how amazing this book is.
Yeah.
We get excited writing it. We've let our kids preview some of the chapters. They get excited about it.
They're asking us now for the next draft. Like,
let's go.
When that draft going to be done, y'all? I'm like, damn. Get off my back, editor.
But that's like the biggest vote of confidence when our kids, who are very avid readers, by the way, are like, I want to read your book. Yeah. This is really, really good. I need more.
It was a good year. It was a tough year. And I think it was tough for all of us. I think the world is just struggling. And I think this January is just more evidence of that. But I'm really glad that we had a fantastic 2024.
Yeah, me too.
And we both turned 40.
Oh, that's kind of a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Kind of a huge deal.
And now we got to change our intro. Oh. Because it says we're 30-somethings.
And guess what? Changes are coming for next season.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
This podcast is supported by generous donations from our patrons and listeners. Become a supporter today by heading to www.patreon.com/colorcombosmedia.
You can stream the show on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud. When you listen, please consider hitting that heart button, sharing, giving us a 5-star rating, and leaving some dope comments. This helps us with our page rankings and gets more listeners for the show. Thank you so much.
And we're back.
We are back.
And for the conversation today, I really wanted to take a look back at the history of this podcast.
Yeah.
And really kind of see how far we've come. Let y'all know, like, what do people care about? What do people like? How's the podcast been performing? And what I did is I looked back at all of our episodes, all the way back through season 1, and I said, well, let's just see which episodes y'all love the most. What do y'all really want to hear? What are the things that really pop when it comes to this podcast? And when I looked back over the course of this year, there were 4 episodes that stood out. The most listened to episode that we had this year was the opener for season 6, which was Choosing Yourself in 2024.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think partly the reason it's most listened to, well, it was the first episode of the season.
Yeah.
But also I think that probably resonated with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Of saying, like, it's a new year and I really do want to choose me. And I hope that all of our listeners, I hope that people worldwide really did choose themselves.
Yeah.
Last year. It was a rough year.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people feel away about 2024.
Yeah.
And I would like to say, extending that into 2025, keep choosing yourself.
Keep choosing yourself. Big time.
There's big reasons to keep doing that.
Choose yourself and then choose people who choose you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, second most listened to episode was our Black Lesbian Visibility Matters.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, number one, it's true. But it was really heartening to me to see that so many people listened to that.
Yeah.
To say, like, you know what, that does matter. And I hope that it wasn't just a bunch of Black lesbians listening to it, feeling
I don't
validated.
think it was.
I mean, I hope that's true. I hope a lot of Black lesbians listened to it and did feel validated.
I think most people who listen to us are gay.
I believe that's
But I also
true.
think that most people are gay, so that doesn't help. Cause I think everyone's a little gay.
But I mean, what I will say, a big component of this podcast is education.
Yeah.
Like we really make a big deal about having a podcast where we are sharing information that people can take and apply to their everyday lives. And so for an episode like that really was, I think, an entertaining episode, but also a very strongly informational episode. It's good that so many people got that message. Agreed. Now, I will say this next one, the third most listened to episode of the year, I think it's actually my favorite episode of the year.
Really?
And I'm hoping that this one continues to get a lot of listens and people come back to it and maybe listen to it again and share with their friends.
Yeah.
And have discussions about it.
I was talking shit on this episode.
Yeah, you were in your bag.
I was in my bag.
In your bag on this one.
Bag.
And this was season 7, episode 2, experts over influencers and content creators.
Yeah, this one was spicy. People felt away about this one.
People felt away. But listen, I think people also really loved it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people felt like, oh yes, this is what I've been thinking and feeling for the longest.
And also, like, you know, no shade to influencers and content creators. It's just that we have to be very clear that words mean things and that positions especially in media, mean things, you know, and everyone has their place, but we have to not conflate those positions, right? Like Angela Davis and Amanda Seales are not the same person.
They're just not.
Shit, me and Angela Davis are not the same.
Correct. And that's no shade.
Yeah. No shade to me, right? No shade to Amanda Seales. Like, she has her place. I have my place. But Angela Davis is Angela Davis.
Yeah, the thing is, influencers and content creators are important.
That's right.
Full stop. They are important. They play a role. They are needed to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Right? The only issue is when they try to cross over and present themselves as if they are experts.
And I think we're seeing this right now on TikTok with this Hillman talk nonsense.
Child.
And this process of taking our collective intellectual property and putting it on this very public platform that can be usurped at any moment by a foreign government and teaching AI how to mimic us.
Yep.
I think that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? When content creators and influencers go onto these platforms and provide content that's based on Black-centered experiences, there's a lot of danger there. Mm-hmm. No shade.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that. That's the most important part to me is I don't think either one of us is trying to say that these people generally
shouldn't exist or something like that.
Or even that they're ill-intentioned.
No, not at all.
Right. I think sometimes people just don't realize the dangers of what they're doing.
That's right.
Or even how those actions they think might be beneficial could actually be setting us back.
And I think January 2025 has taught us how all these businesses, tech organizations, governmental organizations are all in bed with one another, and we have to be careful about our intellectual property.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So now I want to talk about our all-time most listened to episodes.
I think this is really important. Yeah.
Since the dawning of this podcast.
Yeah.
Which episodes are just the most widely accepted and listened to and cared about and loved?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to go backwards. Mm-hmm. So let's go number 4.
Yeah.
Number 4 episode of all time, way back in season 2.
Yeah.
And I'm going to preview it. All of these all-time episodes
all of them are in season
from
2.
Season 2, which was
season
amazing
2, we
to
were
me.
clearly on some shit.
Yeah, and it's true. And it's going to actually inform.
Because you know why? We were introducing ourselves back then.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of that was... Anyway, go ahead. You finish.
Well, and the thing is, I think a lot of this you'll see is going to actually inform what we're going to talk about next season. I think a lot of these topics, it's time that they come back around.
That's right.
And we kind of, revamp.
I agree.
Those. So number 4 of all time was the episode called That Queer Black Couple. This was about gender fluidity and asexuality.
This is when we talked about you and I coming into real clarity and alignment with our gender identities and our sexual identities. You talked about asexuality. I talked about gender fluidity and what that means to us. And I'm really glad to see that people really listened to this episode and that it resonated with them.
Yeah. And it's definitely one of those that you can definitely go back and listen to and share with people, because they were very good, again, informationally, in kind of the things that we share with people and definitions so people understand what gender fluidity is and understand what asexuality is. But also we, as you said, we came at it from a personal lens. So I think that's something that is really relatable to people.
Yeah.
And I think, again, it's important for visibility on these things.
Especially as Black folk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, number 3 was episode 27 from season 2. We had long seasons.
Back then we had long
Very
seasons, yeah.
So episode 27 was the entanglement episode.
That was when that whole August Alsina stuff popped off with Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, and people was talking mess online, and I was like, absolutely not. Y'all not gonna sit here and talk about polyamory as if y'all understand it as a bunch of monogamous people.
And again, so this was another great episode to like explain something to people.
Yeah.
So not even just so they understand it like at a definitional level, but understand what it means in real life, how people actually really show up and live
right
in these ways.
And
right?
also to give them an example of something that's not a stereotype in their mind, right? Like when this whole Jada Pinkett, Will Smith thing happened, they had all these ideas about who these people were and how polyamory works. And it was so disheartening because these were people who I respected who were saying awful things about polyamory. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here like, yo, I've been polyamorous this whole time. Mm-hmm. And I'm not even sure people realize that, you know? So it was really, I think, important to get some clarity around the various ways that folks build polyamorous community. It's not always the sensationalized, romanticized, TV stories that make us feel like we should go get a tabloid magazine to read. Like that's actually a minority.
And what happens is we have those sensationalized moments, and in many instances, that's the only visibility people have to something that's outside of their own sphere of influence, right? And so these are also really important moments where people should dip in and say, well, let me actually understand this. Let me not just look at what I'm seeing on a tabloid and say that's my understanding of what polyamory is. Let me actually dig a little bit deeper and understand what polyamory is in real life.
Right. Nuance.
Exactly.
Nuance.
Now, number 2 was a tough one. It was episode 30 of season 2, and this was Black Healing and Trauma During COVID.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think there's a lot to say about that other than I think we were all going through it.
We were going through it.
And we wanted to provide a salve.
Yes, we did.
For all of us, including ourselves.
That's right.
In that moment and how bad it was. But as you've noted many times on this podcast, COVID is not gone.
It's not over.
So even though that was something that we recorded back then, that is very, very applicable.
And still relevant in so many ways.
To our current days and times.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, number 1 episode of all time of that black couple was episode 23 of season 2. The episode was Polyamory, Open Relationships, and Black Dating Life. Mm-hmm. And I think this one is so popular because I think people are nosy. In this one, we talked very much about our relationship and what polyamory looks like for us.
And then how I date and how it works with family and all that.
And I think also a lot of people are curious to be like, could I be polyamorous?
Is this something I can do?
How does that work? Do people get mad? I think people were just incredibly, like I said, nosy. Yeah. And I will say, we put it out.
We did.
To allow for people to be nosy.
Yeah, I'm more than happy for people to learn from us. And I think that's where we need to go. Like, I think that's something that people have been asking us for a long time, but we were a little shy about that. We were a little apprehensive about it. But I think now that we're 40, that's going to change. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can find my mom and dad, aka That Black Couple, on the web at thatblackcouple.com. That Black Couple is owned and operated by Color Combos Media. If you would like to help fund our content, sign up at www.patreon.com/colorcombosmedia. Please consider giving us $5 or $10 per month to help us build our platform and grow our organization. You can also give one-time donations at www.paypal.me/colorcombosmedia. All donations are welcome.
All right. Now let's talk about what's coming up next. Let's talk about the future.
I'm so excited.
This is the looking forward episode, really. It's a reflection on 2024 and what we did. But also, like, what do y'all want from us? What are we seeing from our insights on the podcast? What are we seeing from these top episodes? And what we're seeing is that we have to get more agile. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things. And so we have migrated our Patreon to Substack.
Yep.
It's one of the first things we did. We are now on Substack, colorconvosmedia.substack.com. You can find regular updates about writing opportunities that pertain to just Black folks right now. And we are going to expand our Substack. So we're actually hiring right now for a social media assistant to help us build out our Substack. We're going to have content there. We're doing a lot of interesting things. We're also launching a new podcast.
Yes, we are. Well, I shouldn't say we are.
I mean, you're the production team.
Yeah, but this is your podcast.
This is my podcast. I am the host, but you are the team.
But you will not hear my voice.
There will be no Daren on this podcast.
I'm not the talent this time.
No, because this will be an interview-based podcast. I will be the host. It's called We Published Beloved. We published Beloved.
Published Beloved.
We published Beloved.
We published
We published
Beloved.
Beloved. We Publish Beloved. And you can find We Publish Beloved anywhere at We Published Pod. And what this is going to be is I'm going to focus on speaking with first-time authors who are Black women and who are queer folk who have navigated the publishing process, whether that be academic books, self-publishing books, trade books, whatever it is. And I want to talk to them about the things that they didn't know. What did you not know? What do you wish you knew? What strategies did you use? What worked for you? How are you challenged? What do you think that other Black and queer and women writers need to know as they embark on this journey? And this is an extension of our work from Colored Convos Media and our desire to encourage Black and queer content creators and writers to get their work out there and to support our voices and to tell our own stories. So this is something we will absolutely need y'all's support on. Please go follow the Substack at coloredconvosmedia.substack.com. Follow my Substack, JenNDarenPhD.substack.com, and go find We Publish Pod. We Publish Beloved anywhere anywhere except Twitter, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, and the website.
And not TikTok.
And not TikTok. We don't talk about TikTok no more. No. And if you are a first-time author or someone who has an aspiring author, this is a podcast for you.
Yeah. And I will say, just as a quick preview, we're currently in production. We're working on it. You don't want to miss this podcast.
Yeah.
There's some amazing authors lined up for it.
I'm lucky that I have good friends, and they pretty dope. I mean, listen, Bree Baker, Raquel Willis, Deisha Dyer, Deisha Philyaw, Tamala Gordon. I mean, the list is growing. Ebony Janice, Shayla Lawson.
Listen, y'all.
And they all said yes when I reached out. So this is season 1. I can only imagine what's going to happen as we keep going.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But also, even as we launch another podcast, we're going to do some stuff with this podcast too.
That's right.
That Black Couple is not going away. We're getting bigger and we're going larger.
We are.
So I have.
Tell them, Daren. Tell them, Daren.
I have set myself up.
Yes, you have.
To be clear, I've set myself up for more labor because I love y'all so much.
Yeah.
And we are transforming That Black Couple.
Yes.
And starting in season 8, we will officially become a video podcast.
A video podcast. Oh my gosh. Daren's going to be in front of a camera.
I will be in front of a camera.
Oh my God.
Dr. Jenn will be in front of a camera.
I certainly will.
You will see our
brown, luscious, mahogany, ancestral faces.
You will see all of this beard.
You will see all of this room I decorated for no one to see for 4 years.
You will see all of it.
Yes.
It's gonna be us.
Yeah.
Doing the same work that we do, but you will see us in video form.
Absolutely, and that will be posted on YouTube. There'll be shorts on Instagram. We're gonna go full video, and the same thing for That Published Pod. I mean, for That Published Pod. It's funny. It's like a hybrid of that. Like, yeah. We Published Pod will also be a video podcast. So we are going to move with the times. We are going to be updated with the moment. And we know that everything is moving toward video, and we will answer that call.
Yes, we will. And we will also be, as we alluded to earlier, really focusing in on the content that you'll be getting in the next season.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot more content around queer identity.
Yeah.
A lot more content around polyamory.
Yeah.
A lot more content around just the difficulty of being Black in America.
In this moment.
In
in this particular moment, we are really going to hone in on what it's like to raise children. Right now, the lessons we've taught our very free Black children, because that is the content that people have asked for. Even when I did like a little anecdotal question on Threads, and I said, if we ask these questions, like if we posted this podcast, what would y'all want to know? And people are like, how do you teach your kids to cook? Like, what are you teaching them? How does that work? Like, what lessons do you teach them about gender, right? These are things that we often don't think about sharing because it's just how we live our lives.
Yeah, it's just normal for us.
But that's what people want to hear.
I mean, last night, these kids,
they made a whole lasagna.
And we sat our asses on the couch
because I was tired and it was a tough day because January was Januarying, right?
But as you said, like that's become a normal thing for us.
Yeah.
And I do think it'll be interesting, and I think it's going to be great for people to kind of have a little bit of a view into what that looks like and how we do it.
Also to have some ideas about how they can create their own life and curate their own experiences. I really want Black people to listen to this podcast and start imagining their own freedom differently and how they can build the life that they want for themselves. And I think that we do live that and embody that in ways that we don't often take, super seriously. We take it for granted because we've been doing it for 20 years.
I mean, and I just, in my latest Substack post, that was our Color Combos Substack. That's exactly what I was talking about, is how important it is that we have that imagination, especially as Black people, that we don't box ourselves in and we don't foreclose opportunities and possibilities in life. Right. Yeah. And we are magic. The fact that we are here. Right. And that we exist and that we are alive. Despite
anti-Blackness,
everything that's come up against us through history. Yeah. That alone is magic, right? Yeah. And so who says that we can't forge our own identities in whatever way we best see fit?
Yeah. And I really want us to lean in this year. We've had 7 seasons behind us. 7 seasons. We've done 7 seasons of this podcast. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do something different, and we're going to answer, y'all's call to hear more about us. And you're going to see more of us this year.
And it's going to be amazing.
It is. And fun. As always, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, or you just want to tell us how great we are, email us at thatblkcouple@gmail.com. Bye.